Today we're going to be talking about my 1998 Jeep Cherokee XJ. I know what you're going to say. Well, it's an older Jeep. Well, really, it's actually the newer Jeep with the older front clip. But today we're going to be talking about my mistakes that I made and stuff that I wish I would have done, and how to build a budget Jeep. Alright, first thing that we did, we actually bought this Jeep. How much I have in the Jeep alone was $200, and I will show you a picture why it was only $200 and a lot of work that I have done. And a lot of mistakes that I've done I wish I never would have done. So you know how that is if you actually build a Jeep at home. So as you can tell, it is lifted 3 inches. And the back is not sagging on this one. It's actually the floor in this garage. It actually tilts back because the drains are over there. But on a straight parking lot, it is not sagging. So let's go ahead and talk about the lift. Now, the lift is actually an S10 spring. More or less an add-a-leaf from an S10. And I put these helper springs on here because I tend to haul a little bit. I've hauled some stuff in the back here. It's pretty heavy, and you know, I don't want it to squat, you might as well say, or wear out the springs. So it does have a S10 add-a-leaf in there. I got automatically from the main leaf from an S10, I automatically got 3 inches just by adding that one leaf. And I do have a 2-inch drop bracket with the 2 holes. You can pick which holes you want to use. Them cost me around $24. The leaf springs out of the S10 were actually free. We had an S10 laying around and they were actually free. So that's how I lifted the back. That's how I lifted the back. As you can see, I did the same thing on this side. So yeah, that's how I lifted the back. Like I said, the S10 springs were give to me because we already had them, and you could probably pick them up at your local junkyard, maybe $50. So we're just going to go ahead and say $50 for the, you know, just for the springs. Now, how I lifted the front of this Jeep. This is actually a Grand Cherokee front coil spring. It gives you somewhere from an inch of a lift to 2 inches. It's depending on how wore out they were. I actually gave $35 for these from a junkyard. They're out of a V8 Grand Cherokee. Well, the front set low after I put this 3-inch puck under here. The front end set low an inch and like inch and something. So I went ahead and added this one, which it's safe because I have plenty of room here. But I got $30 in the 3-inch puck. I got $22 in the inch and something puck front Grand Cherokee springs out of a V8. Just depending on your Jeep and how wore out these springs are is how much lift you'll actually get out of it. Like I said, I'm not for the pucks, but I want to do a Jeep budget build just to show you that you could lift this thing. I've actually had this thing off-road and I've not had a problem. A lot of people diss on this budget, you know, lift, but this thing performs just as good as any other lift. You just don't get as much flex as you do with, you know, your traditional lifts. Same way for this side, as your, you know, the same setup as the other side. Like I said, this Jeep does have a little bit of surface rust, but it's still pretty solid. I did not change the shocks out. The rear shocks actually made a 2-inch drop bracket for the shocks, but I have cool over shocks to help with, you know, when I haul stuff or haul trailer or something, because you never know with me, I like going off-roading, or, you know, I have to haul stuff too. We'll go ahead and take a look at those. For the cool over shocks from Monroe, I gave $100 for these. I like them because they're lifetime warranted, and they actually haul a load pretty good. They're supposed to hold up to 2,000 pounds or something like that. My Jeep does not squat when I haul a four-wheeler or a boat or, you know, something like that. And a lot of forums say that you can't have these on here because your Jeep don't support, you know, it will just bust your floor out. Well, the people that say that, I had these on here for 2 years and I'm going strong. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the mounts that I actually made. Here are the mounts that I actually made to actually drop the spring down so I could actually use these instead of buying an aftermarket set. Because like I said, I do haul and I like to have these because I had them on my old muscle car that I had. And I made this mount. As you can see, it's holding up just well. The body's holding up just well. So if that answers any of you guys' question, yes, you can run these. If you don't have a lift, you don't have to make this bracket if you don't want to. Usually there's 2 bolts here, made a drop bracket, and pretty much a bar pin eliminator. Saved me money. This material was free because it was in my backyard. Let's go ahead and talk tires. Now, I've had these tires for 2 years and they're finally starting to get wore. I wish I would have did a video on building this Jeep, but I actually didn't. So here we're just talking about how much everything cost. These are our Firestone Destination mud tires. Now, brand new, these probably run you from anywhere around here, 31-10-50, which is what these are. They'll run you about 850 bucks or 700. Some places are different. I've actually been running these on the road and off-road, and they wear perfect. It's a really, really good tire. I can't complain. As you can see here, there's some off-road rash. You know, some tread cutting. Buddy had these. He bought them, and he needed money actually. So I ended up giving him $350 or 300 and some odd change, I think it was, for these tires. And they only had like 1,000 miles on them. But I got somewhere around, I'm wanting to say 10,000 miles on these. And they're still, you know, they're still holding up great. I'll go ahead and show you the back. As you can see, got some rock rash. One of these tires have some serious rock rash on it. But these tires hold up very, very well. This is my new favorite mud tire. It's just your basic, you know, your basic mud pattern. And I'm sorry, but I'm not much into retreads. I'd like to try out treadwrights and see how good they go and see if they can hold up against rock rash and stuff. But I can't get them to come off a set of tires to try out because I've heard nothing but bad things about them. So I want to put them to the test and actually see how good they go, and not just by word of mouth. So let's go ahead and talk about these rims. These are soft 8-hole Kragers, or you know, you can buy these things cheap for like 280 bucks. Actually traded a set of other Jeep rims that I had for these, so they were pretty much free. I didn't have anything in the other rims because I already had them. I can't remember what I paid for them, but they're a pretty nice rim. They're pretty wide, and I am running, I think they're called Spider spacers. I am running spiders. I'm not sure what they're called. I can't remember. Actually traded a light bar that I had 20 bucks in for these. So they're 2-inch spacers. It does set the Jeep out wide with the rims. As you can see, they stick out pretty good. Now this Jeep was already a 5-speed when I got it. The only thing that I really done was put all the plastic trim back on. I had to trim this here, and I did a really, really horrible job at making older fender flares fit. And this is rotted out. We had to replace it. Well, the brackets was rotted out. We couldn't replace them because I can't see spending $100 and some on brackets to put your fender flares back on. So I just went ahead and put zip screws in it. I mean, what's the big deal? Don't make it look far away. Don't make it look too bad. I've actually cut the fender out probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and just moved the fender flare up, but enough to not make a big of a difference where this goes. There is a hole there where I've had it before, but to make a difference. So it is moved up, it is trimmed. So let's talk about the collar. Now, army green, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna go ahead and put a picture up of when I first got this Jeep, and I rattle can this Jeep metallic blue. Beautiful paint job in the world. Okay, it lasted 2 years no problem, or a year no problem, no chipping. I did a great job on it. One day I got this idea of rhino lining the whole Jeep, and it didn't work out. I used the wrong roller, didn't even know it. It looked like crap. So I took a heat gun and peeled up all the freaking rhino line and just went ahead and painted army green. You know, it's not a perfect Jeep. You know, it does get wheeled, it does have dents. This is not a show Jeep. This Jeep actually gets used. But to show you, I don't have a gas lid either, but to show you where I messed up on the rhino line. See how it's smooth? I actually used the wrong roller. So that's just one of the mistakes I made and I had to live with. And now I got an army green Jeep compared to a nice looking Jeep. But hey, you know, they're Jeeps. They're made for wheeling. And there's my stickers. And I was doing dip videos. A lot of people still watch this stuff. It's Tough Guy Chew. I was sponsored by Tough Guy Chew once. YouTube took them down, copyrighted reasons and everything else, and bashing. So this is why I'm doing a lot of Jeep videos right now, just to get things sorted out and, you know, see what's going on. But the hatch is still black. I am from West Virginia. I did mark my plate out. And I busted the tail light back into a trampoline one night. As you can see, I horribly cut this. I did a horrible job at cutting this. I was in a rush one day, because down here you have to get a modified sticker on everything you do. So I accidentally cut a hole in that, cut it off, and now it has a gap. But I do have another one to replace it with, and that's, you know, it's got the 4.0 5-speed AX15. And I don't have a whole lot of money into this Jeep. Like I said, the floorboards, this Jeep does get drove a lot. It is pretty much my work vehicle. The floorboards are still solid. I mean, there's not much of a rock going on this Jeep. I mean, the interior is a little dirty. As you can see, I eat McDonald's there. Like I said, the interior is a little dirty where I carry tools, and you know, it's a work Jeep. The headliner is stripped out. I'm in the process of redoing it and stuff like that. Just little things. It still ain't come together yet. I do have a little bit of rust going on right here. That's basically it on the Jeep. To me, Jeeps ain't perfect. As long as you guys can get together and have a good time, you know, have a good time Jeeping. And yes, I did make a couple mistakes on this Jeep, and you know, I could have done better, but hey, I got a lift for cheap. And I'm not counting like little parts of, like, I had to put a serpentine belt on it, or, you know, just focusing on the tires and lift. And I hate the newer front clip, and I love the older front clip, so that's why I went with that. And as you can see, we have to get modified stickers here in West Virginia. So that's just basically my 98 Jeep Cherokee. It's not perfect, but I did do it with budget in mind, and you can't beat budget in mind stuff. So it's still under project. It's still being worked on. It's not done. I actually got another Jeep that I'll probably do on a lot of how-to videos on to drive, so I can finish this one and actually get it painted up. And we're gonna go ahead and add the spray paint cost. I use metallic Rust-Oleum for the first paint job I did. I had somewhere around $75 in it, and that's doing it right. Then the Rhino line, I had $100 in, and this paint job I used Krylon olive drab, and I had $55 in it. So you can, you know, you don't need a fancy lift to do things off-road. You don't need fancy tires. Like I said, there will be footage of this Jeep off-roading and stuff, because it don't have a problem at all. Other than it's a 5-speed and it makes things difficult, but stuff will be updated, like the control arms and the track bar. That's just little things you don't have to worry about. But I'm just showing you, like I said, you can lift a Jeep for cheap and get away with it.